So let me tell you what's got everybody whispering in the group chats right now. Beyonce might finally be pulling the plug on her marriage to Jay-Z. And no, this isn't just another tabloid rumor or one of those recycled cheating stories from back in the Lemonade era. This time it's about a kid, a grown one that's allegedly Jay-Z's firstborn son. Yeah, his first. And now that this long-buried situation is bubbling back to the surface, Beyonce seems to be done playing the loyal wife role. The timing, wild. The drama, even wilder. Here's the backstory. There's this man named Rymir Satterthwaite who has been claiming for over a decade that Jay-Z is his biological father. This isn't some dude chasing clout for TikTok likes. He's taken legal action, fought through multiple courts, and tried every route to get Jay-Z to just take a simple DNA test. But Jay, he's been dodging like it's the Matrix. Now, after years of back and forth, word is the court has finally put its foot down and ordered Jay to submit a sample. And if that's true, the silence from the Carters is about to explode into a full-blown media frenzy. But let's zoom in on Beyonce for a second, because apparently the queen herself is the one making power moves behind the scenes. Sources close to her camp say she's already got her lawyers circling like hawks, not just because of the paternity stuff, but because this whole thing threatens the Carter brand she's worked so hard to polish. Think about it. After the cheating saga, Solange's elevator smackdown, and the public therapy tour disguised as a music trilogy, they held that empire together with duct tape and glitter. Now, a secret son? That's not just a PR crisis. That's legacy-level damage. The wildest part? This wasn't exactly hidden. People have been talking about Rymir for years, but the difference now is that the legal system is finally catching up, and Beyonce's done waiting around for Jay-Z to handle it. She's been riding or dying through enough chaos, and according to some close insiders, she's been pushing him to settle this quietly for years. But Jay's alleged refusal, mixed with what she sees as his recklessness, has her ready to bounce. Here's where it starts to get dark. Rymir's mother, Wanda, was reportedly just 16 when she and Jay allegedly had their encounter. If that's true, we're not just talking about a messy paternity case anymore. That opens a legal Pandora's box that even billionaires might not be able to close. Which explains a lot, like why Jay-Z has supposedly gone to such extreme lengths to avoid the test. And if Beyonce knew about this or even suspected it, it makes sense why she's now distancing herself. Now, folks online are split. Some say Rymir is just looking for fame or a payout, but if you listen to him speak, he doesn't sound like a clout chaser. He says he works 2 jobs, pays his own bills, and just wants closure. This was never about money, he said in interviews. I just want to know the truth. And when someone keeps showing up year after year, pushing the same fight with the courts, it hits different than your average fame-chasing scandal. Jay-Z, for his part, has addressed the rumors in his music. Kinda, in one track, he throws a line that sounds like it's aimed straight at Rymir. The kid ain't mine. And Beyonce even seems to join in, adding cryptic shade in their collab lyrics. But guess what? No amount of bars in a song replaces a DNA test. And now, with legal pressure heating up and Beyonce reportedly gearing up to walk, this whole thing's about to blow. Jay-Z's entire empire has always been built on control. Control of the narrative, the image, the music, the business. But this situation, it's spiraling fast. What started as whispers from Rymir has now turned into court orders, media buzz, and allegedly serious legal threats. And at the center of all this chaos, Beyonce is said to be preparing her exit strategy, not just emotionally, but legally and financially. Here's the thing, when someone like Beyonce starts making calls to divorce attorneys, it's not a bluff. This is a woman who built a billion-dollar brand around poise, precision, and protection. She's never been messy. But sources close to the situation say she's furious. Not just at the allegations, but at the risk it all poses. From her Ivy Park brand to her massive deals with Netflix and addeds, her image is her currency. And the thought of being dragged into a scandal involving a possible underage relationship between her husband and another woman, that's a line she's not willing to cross. What makes this all even messier is how long this has allegedly been going on behind closed doors. Rymir's guardian, Lily, revealed in an interview that there was a time when Jay-Z's team seemed willing to settle things quietly. They even talked about potentially bringing Rymir into the Rock Nation fold, introducing him to the music business, helping him develop. There were phone calls, emails, what felt like real communication, and then, poof, it all went cold. Once Jay's legal team allegedly became aware of Wanda's age at the time of the alleged relationship, every door slammed shut. Lily says it was like someone hit the panic button. From there, things got dirtier. Lily claimed that their own lawyers began acting strangely, missing deadlines, filing incorrect paperwork, and ultimately causing the case to be dismissed in Pennsylvania. It wasn't just incompetence, she said. It felt like sabotage. They even filed a complaint against their own legal team, accusing them of secretly working with Jay-Z's attorneys to derail the process. That's when it stopped being just a family issue. It turned into a battle against the system. And through it all, Rymir kept pushing. He filed motions in higher courts, tried to get records unsealed, demanded answers. Every time the door was shut in his face, he found another one to knock on. But when the Supreme Court declined to intervene, it felt like a slap in the face. Still, the fight didn't stop. He took it back to the appellate court, hoping for a break. Meanwhile, Beyonce was watching this unfold and reportedly losing patience. Sources say she'd tried to support Jay privately, urging him to just take the test and get ahead of the story. But his refusal and the increasing legal complexity made her feel like he was choosing pride over protection. Protection of their marriage, their family, their image. That's when whispers started leaking from her camp that she was preparing for the worst-case scenario, divorce. And let's be real, if Beyoncé leaves, she's not walking away quietly. She's one of the smartest businesswomen in the game. She's gonna walk out with a chunk of that $2 billion, $600 million, 0 cents empire, if not half. And considering she's got the public on her side, especially after standing by him through so much already, any move she makes is going to be framed as justified. So now we've got a man dodging paternity tests, a woman protecting her legacy, and a son fighting for truth in a system that keeps shutting him down. And no matter how you slice it, something's about to give. Rymir wasn't done. No matter how many times the court shut the door, no matter how powerful the names involved were, he kept showing up, filing new motions, talking to the press, using his voice in music. It wasn't just about a DNA test anymore. It became a symbol of everything he'd been denied. Answers, dignity, a fair shot. And when he saw that Beyonce and Jay-Z were starting to subtly respond through their lyrics, it only added fuel to the fire. Because if they could drop bars mocking him, then why couldn't he? So he did. He released a song of his own. The bars were sharp, direct, personal, no filters, no sugarcoating. He called Jay-Z out not just as a man, but as an artist, hiding behind metaphors and avoiding accountability. In interviews, he made it clear this wasn't a diss track for clout. It was the only way he could express his truth. If Jay was going to keep denying things through music, then Rymir was going to meet him on that same field. But what really shook people wasn't the music. It was the deeper allegation behind it all, that Jay-Z hadn't just been hiding a son, but that the original situation may have involved a minor. Rymir's guardian, Lily, said that was the breaking point for everything. According to her, when Jay-Z's team realized Wanda was allegedly underage at the time, their entire approach changed. Suddenly, lawyers were pulling out, meetings were canceled, conversations got tense. Whatever chance there was at resolution vanished. And then came the threats. At least that's what Lily and Rymir claimed, not directly but through pressure, silence, and intimidation. They said there were moments when people around them were warned to back off, that some of the people they worked with started acting scared. Lily even said that Beyonce herself, through third parties, was trying to suppress the story, allegedly telling people things like, "That boy needs to go away." Not outright violence, but enough to make you feel watched. Small, subtle, controlling. Eventually, they went to Liz Crokin, a controversial journalist, hoping to get their version of the story on record, just in case. They feared something could happen to them. Whether it was paranoia or something more real, they wanted to be safe. And that's when the rumors exploded again. Because if you've got two people saying they're being silenced by the most powerful couple in music, the internet's going to run with that. But even with the mess, the heart of the situation was painfully simple. A man wanted to know who his father was. He didn't want Jay-Z's money, he didn't want to sell tabloid interviews or pose for photo ops. He just wanted closure, respect, a fair chance to prove what he believed was the truth. And the system, for whatever reason, money, power, fame, kept pushing him down. Meanwhile, Beyoncé was preparing her next move. Sources said she was done protecting someone who wouldn't even protect himself. The brand she spent decades building was now attached to a scandal she never asked for. And if Jay-Z was going to go down swinging in court instead of simply facing reality, then she wasn't sticking around for the fallout. Behind the scenes, her team was allegedly documenting everything, ready to split assets, finalize terms, and walk away with her legacy intact. There's no final court ruling yet, no official test result made public, but with everything boiling over, one thing's clear: this story isn't going away quietly. And if that DNA test ends up confirming what Rymir's been saying for years, the Carter empire may never look the same again.